Assuming you actually want to stop there. The ping was twice as fast. That's good. Well, if your speed is like, because you said you're getting gigabit, right? Yeah, so if your speed is really low, then yeah, it's probably a networking issue. It could either be, I mean, there's usually like one of three things that can cause the bottleneck, right? It could be any of the cables, because the cables have like a max rated speed. And if you have like really old cables, or like old standards, then they just won't be able to keep up with gigabit. So gigabit, you need at least Cat 6, which you probably don't have, to be completely honest. Because that's not what you had before. But, so you might need to replace some of those cables. The second thing is the router and modem. So the router and modem typically also have like certain throughputs that they support, and I kind of assume you got a router from your ISP just now, and so I assume you got a router modem, right? A command router modem. So I would assume they gave you something that can support gigabit. I would hope. Yes and no. It kind of depends, I think, on the specific hardware setup. It's a lot easier of a split router modem, right? Because then you can just plug the modem directly into your computer and do a speed test. Because there's like a router in between, you could ask the router to do a speed test, basically. But yeah. And another bottleneck could be the switch. And the router has like a built-in switch, but the switch itself also has certain throughput limits, right? More than just the ports being like gigabit or whatever. Like the switch might only be able to have the processing power to support like a certain amount of throughput, in addition to the router modem. And so maybe the switch is rated for a gigabit, but like not like for every port. So you like 6 devices all connected to gigabit, and they're all trying to use all the bandwidth, and it's going to split that up in some mechanisms. So routers tend, the better the router, the more control you have on how you split it up. Like you can give priority to certain kinds of data or certain kinds of ports and stuff like that. Yeah, I figured. If you're on Wi-Fi has limits, right? Like Wi-Fi is typically not gigabit. I'm trying to remember what the limits of Wi-Fi typically are. It depends, but usually it's more like 100 megabit, I think, than gigabit. So that's part of it. Something else to consider is when you're doing speed tests, by the way, it's confusing because sometimes they measure things in gigabit or like megabit or whatever, and sometimes they measure it in megabyte. And so you have to double check what it is. So like if you're getting, like 20 megabytes down, that is like 100 megabit, right? So that is something to kind of verify, and it is always confused me why that was the way that is, but shrug. I think it's like that just because I don't think the networking protocols actually send bytes. They send, I think each like byte in quotes is not 8-bit actually. I'm not sure. In many protocols it's not. I just don't know about like Ethernet and like TCP/IP and stuff like that. Like I don't know what they use, but a lot of times some things have like actually a 9-bit protocol, where there's like an extra bit is either used for a parity bit, or they might have an extra bit that's like a some sort of like a stop bit, for example. It's like this is like the end of a packet, or acknowledge bit. But there's a bunch of things that different protocols could have. I just don't know if they're used in internet protocols or not. But cables is probably my most suspicious thing, I think. Well, I mean, if you're paying for gigabit, you should get gigabit to your house. Right. No mic. Can you hear me? You can only hear me. Well. I mean, I hear you, and I hear me. This must be a TR stream. So yeah, so I was catching some Pokemon. I'm really glad about this improvement. Just got an 1100 point improvement. Really working on that 4 mil. What does OBS show? Is he using the wrong mic in OBS?
Default be wrong. Oh, hello?
Hello?
I just opened the options and closed them, and it seems to be picking up my voice now.
Okay, nice. I've won the internet upgrade.
Anyway, yeah. The story is I switched ISPs. I'm not getting amazing speeds, but it's better, hopefully.
Yeah.
The other story is I'm really close to 4 mil, and now I'm like really close to 4 mil because this like practically got me halfway there. This is a ridiculous improvement. Yesterday I did a lot of park day because apparently the fact that it's the first stage meant that there was a whole bunch of really bad shots there that I just forgot about. And I noticed that all my Milotic shots could like theoretically be improved by like over 1,000 points, and here we are. They're being improved by over 1,000 points. So if I can get 3 good Milotic shots, I'm done. I'm not sure what to do about 4-star though, so anyway.
Yeah, so one thing you can do, so first of all, you can typically check in your computer what you have, like what connection you have to the other end of the thing that you're currently connected to.
What is the other end? Do you mean like the router or?
Well, whatever your computer is directly connected to.
Wi-Fi?
Sure, yeah. I mean, and so that's like, in theory, you basically would need to check like every part of the chain to see like where it's like dropping, because you can have something that's like connected to 100 megabit and then to gigabit and then it goes up. So that's part of it. If you're paying for gigabit and you're only getting like a few hundred megabit, like I think that's like way far below enough to like not. That would be a problem. Like
no, it's not a few hundred. It's less than that.
Yeah, then that is like not. That's generally not an acceptable level of pay. There's probably something wrong. Because if your neighborhood doesn't support gigabit, they can't be giving you. They can't be offering gigabit, right? By offering gigabit, they mean that the neighborhood supports gigabit, right? Now there is truth in like. Based on like how many people in the neighborhood are using the internet, it can draw from that load. But if you're getting less than 100 megabit and you're paying for gigabit, then you're not getting gigabit, right?
Yeah.
Usually when people talk about gigabit, gigabit actually tends to be even more, typically more reliable to its speeds than otherwise. Yeah, you should be getting more than half. Yeah, I agree. You should be getting at least like 600 to 800.
I wonder if I tried it with an Ethernet cable, if it would be significantly different. I haven't tried that, but
it's something you should try. Yeah, like you should try to get the least common denominator. I mean, ideally you can plug directly into the modem, and then you can kind of go along the chain to figure out where the slowdown is.
Well, yeah, that's what I would do. I mean, with an Ethernet cable, but
with a decent router, you can usually log into the router and it'll tell you like the speeds of the in and out ports. So like the router will tell you like where it's being throttled, because the router will know if it's being connected to either a device that doesn't support gigabit or cables that don't support gigabit, right? Because like for example, your computer itself might not support gigabit. That's quite possible, especially since it's an older computer. In fact, it's quite unlikely that your computer actually supports gigabit, if I'd be honest. But you should still be getting 100, right?
Yeah.
Is your Wi-Fi 2.4 or 5? Yeah, a lot of times. Well, you just got a new router, so I assume you have a new Wi-Fi like setup. Because I assume the Wi-Fi is built into the router.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have a gigabit router, assuming your router isn't complete crap, which is quite possible, by the way. Usually there's 2 Wi-Fis that are set up. There's a 2.4 gigahertz and a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. And yeah, if you can, you should connect to the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It's going to have more bandwidth.
There's only one.
The problem is that they usually Wi-Fi still offer 2.4 is because older devices might not support 5 gigahertz, right? So if you have like an older Wi-Fi card in your laptop, that it might not support 5 gigahertz just straight up, right? So that's like why they usually have both. Still, in some of them, they actually have a thing where they'll have one SSID, so there'll be like one Wi-Fi, like will show up when you look for Wi-Fi's, and then the router will like basically automatically give you.
I see. Yeah, because
the
it's only
correct
showing
speed.
one.
Yeah, so it's a little. I try to remember how you can. I think there's a way to check what you're connected to.
Squirrelion, have you gotten the frost moth from hitting the crystal blossom, crystal bloom? Because I'm pretty sure that's what that crystal bloom does, is it summons a frost moth. I don't remember if that's during the day or during the night though, so I think it's
So
day though.
if you go into your in your Windows, you go into network config connections, and you like right click on the actual network device,
Yeah.
and go to status. That will list the speed that your network card is running at.
Speed 144 Mbps.
Yeah, so that would be like, I mean, that's obviously not gigabit. I think that's Cat 5e speeds. But you're connecting to Wi-Fi, which is just going to be slower. Like,
Yeah.
I think you can get gigabit Wi-Fi, but you typically don't. Like, I think technically Cat 5e can go up to gigabit. Technically. But you kind of need it, like, it's kind of, like, there's no actual difference in, like, the cable, really, between Cat 5e and Cat 6, for example. Like, typically the difference is just, like, a difference of quality, essentially. Like, it's just, they're just rated to go have, like, higher speeds with, like, without, like, data errors and stuff like that. So like technically, I think a 5e cable, like a really good 5e cable, can get up to around a gigabit, but Cat 6 is like the bottom end is gigabit. So I think it's like a 10 gigabit cable. And you'd ask like, why do you need 10 gigabits? And it's like, well, not for home, typically. If you have like a file server or something in your house, or if you are in an office and you have like a server where you're like have like some sort of data, like a data of videos, and you need people like editors working on that video and stuff like that, and they're like constantly streaming data off of it, then even 10 gigabit might not be enough depending on the amount of access, right? But for home you don't really even need gigabit, honestly. You don't really even need more than a couple hundred megabit. That's like kind of like already past the limit of what home users typically use.
Yeah.
It's just that the technology that gets us to gigabit, there isn't really a lot between gigabit and like people who are getting like, upload speeds of like 20 to 50. Like going from that range to gigabit is like, that's like, there's just like not a lot in between there, without like having some special like business thing. Just always frustrating.
But yeah, I can't really think of any other frost moths there. There's one in the cave, I think, near the start, but well, I don't know. It was just preliminary, like testing or whatever. I haven't actually talked to my dad
Another like
yet.
really big thing you're gonna get out of just faster internet is that like you're even if you're not getting the speeds that you're supposed to be getting, it's the internet speeds are going to fluctuate a lot.
Uh-huh.
And so the more headroom you have, it means that you're like less likely to say drop packets and stuff like that when you're like continuously using the service.
Mm-hmm.
But you also should be getting a lot more speed than you than your initial test said.
So I've seen a picture of Milotic using like Whirlpool, which is a 4-star, but I don't know how to get to do that. But that would definitely help. Oh, it's so close. I mean, clearly I'm streaming fine, right? Not like dropping frames or anything. Other than my mic being weird. I think that was just a mistake of me starting OBS before I plugged my mic in though. That's probably all that happened there.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. The power of water. This, I feel like, is yet another 4-star. Doesn't look like it's using Whirlpool. Because that's, I remember... seeing, but maybe I'm wrong. During the day or during the night? It's when the blizzard is heavy. So, day... Yes, that one. I'm not sure if I want to try and figure out how to get this Milotic to do this thing forever, or if I should just go, like, pick off some easy shots and push my way to victory here. Maybe after I get to 4 mil. But, probably not gonna happen quickly if I don't know it. Wait, I have more notes here. I said, in the water, facing the camera, in a whirlpool question mark. Yeah, okay, that wasn't very helpful. Thank you, me. There might be some other Illumina Pokemon that I'm, like, lacking good points on also. Maybe I should check that before I go, like, too crazy here. No, not really. I just have, for some Pokemon, when I see like a really good shot on the internet board, I'll record the score as like the highest score that I've ever seen. And then I'll write some notes about like what was in that picture, because otherwise it's like a meaningless number. So I have like at most one pose notes per star category per Pokemon. And it's, the best thing that I've seen. What are you doing, Pichu? It's like nomming that thing down. Holy smokes. Ah! Oh, this sucks. Timing was really bad there. There's some way to get, like, more tail to show up here. I never figured out what that was. Can I just take a picture of this guy, or... Yeah, I still don't know what Meganium is. I'll probably look that one up, because that was like, that's like one of the weirdest ones. Like, I'm pretty sure what you have to do is throw apples at the tree, and, sometimes it stops. I don't really know what the additional conditions are, but... Oh, you know what? I need to be taking 2-star pictures. Let me try with a bonk. Oh, that's a happy. Oh, no. The course is so over. Two-star of this Pokemon eating is like not... It's like 750 flat, I think, always, maybe? Yeah, eating is 2-star, but it's... I'm not sure if it's the best possible. One star. I guess this is it getting bopped. I don't... No. Yes. Okay, no, it's just confusing because I... hit it twice. Once when it was like not really hittable and... Sweet. Okay, wasn't expecting that one. This is like a pretty bad picture. By the looks of it, but... Grocky pulling through, I guess. I think it's because of the Grocky was in the picture and that like really does weird things to the calculations. They were like linked or whatever. That's why the other Pokemon bonus was so high. Yeah, this is probably no good. Hold on. Yeah, I guess I didn't try my phone. My dad just came in. He said he's getting 200 on his phone, 400 on his computer, so it's probably just my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, makes sense.
Alright, Scarleon, thanks for stopping in. I mean, I'm happy as long as I'm not losing internet, so... If I can stream without dropping a million frames with losing internet, and if I can watch anime, I'm a happy person. Easy to please. I'm gonna have to go walk around my room and hook up everything to the Wi-Fi, because everything's still running on the other one, except for this computer, but including the Switch, I guess. And my Wii U, before I forget about that one. My phone, my other computer, and God. Why is everything like connected to the internet, dude?
Well, apparently everything's like the Internet of Things or whatever
Yeah.
philosophy.
Like, if your like sink isn't connected to the internet, like you've done it wrong. I should be able to pour myself a glass of water from my room with a smartphone app. Like, obviously.
No, you shouldn't even bring water like through your pipes. The water should go through the internet, through a local server, and then come back down. That's like the real Internet of Things approach.
Vacuum cleaner. Is it like a Roomba, or is it like just a vacuum, like an actual vacuum cleaner that you use your body to move? Oh, that worked. Why? I've done this like a million times. What? I know you can get more of them too, I don't know how. That's gonna be a bad picture, so whatever. Uh-oh. I just don't know how many post points that's worth. This was a picture of the Grocky, not the Pichu. That's a shame. Guess I didn't get a picture of the magic card. This is the one it wants me to submit. I don't know if this is the one I want to submit. I mean, it looks good. I just don't know what the pose is like. Sure. Try it. See what happens. I mean, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. No, this is terrible. Terrible, he says, as he beats his score by 300 points, 200 points. That's really depressing. This could be, like, good if it wasn't bad. Oh, you ever just type, like, completely the wrong number and lose 2,000 points in your total? Because that's what just happened to me. Oops.
Well, I should probably try to figure out how to work on this like smart feature, but like I don't really know how to get started.
Which one is this now? Whoa, this Wurmple just, like, appeared.
It was some of the things I was talking about before.
Yeah,
with,
but
like,
you talked about a bunch of things before.
Yeah, well, all of those things.
Ah, okay. Yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Getting frame drops.
Are we?
A little bit.
Yeah. Probably on Wi-Fi.
Probably your Wi-Fi. Or your computer.
Well, that's what I mean. The Wi-Fi on my computer's on. Unless you just mean
Well,
that
no,
it's, like,
I mean
having
it could
trouble
be
rendering
it could
or
be
whatever.
your well, or your
encoding,
computer
that's what I
like
meant.
dying or whatever. Yeah.
Do I sound like I'm dying?
You roboted a little bit.
Oh, well then I'm
Second
dying.
ago.
Okay, goodbye. I enjoyed being a...
But I mean that could happen from bad internet too, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
The only way that you can sound like a robot is if you've truly become an android bot. You are no longer human. Oh, the Talo is gone. I hecking killed it. Rest in peace.
Frames are getting pretty.
I see that. I'm watching it do its thing where it drops the frames.
What the heck, man? I mean, you can check the stats and see if it's like networking drops or encoding drops, but I assume you probably already know.
Where is that again?
On the top, there's like a drop down for stats. It opens like a new window.
File, edit, view, profile, scene collection, tools, or help.
Open up OBS.
I'm like looking and I can't find it.
It's under Under view.
View. Okay, I see it. Let's see. Average time to render a frame, 3.5 milliseconds. That's fast enough.
Yeah, that number doesn't really matter so much. I mean, it kind of does, but the thing that you care about is like the actual drop frames.
Drop frames network.
Well, there's network and there's miss frames due to rendering and skip frames from encoding. And they'll have like a
Oh, there's the numbers.
how many it did at a total. And on the bottom they have the network frames.
0 frames skipped due to encoding lag. Frames missed
And
due
you'll see
to rendering lag is 71, and frames dropped is like 4,000. So it's not
Yeah,
working.
so it's mostly network then.
Yeah.
And honestly, your rendering encoding should generally just be 0, but if it's like not 0, I mean, it could just be like a particular spike in your computer, but like typically you kind of want those enough like headroom on your computer that it's like not getting anywhere near skipping any rendering or encoding frames. But if it's like less than 0.1%, it's not really a big deal. But it's the drop. Yeah, the drop from networking seems to be the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could go run a cable right now. Do a speed test, fix my stream. I mean, what's interesting is that I'm not actually, like, losing connection, because, you know, previously when this kind of thing happened, I feel like OBS would just completely kick the bucket and stop, but...
Hmm.
Run these pictures by Professor Nero real quick.
Best timing. Best timing.